First ever maths video, whoop whoop. Let's see how we get on. I've picked out 5 random GCSE questions, just going to make a little revision video, so hopefully you can revise if you want to, and then I can try and help you out a bit if you are stuck at all. So these are the 5 questions that I've picked. I'd recommend pausing the video because I'm going to reveal the answers in a minute. If you're watching on a smaller screen, you can usually, if it's a touch screen, just pinch on the screen to make it bigger or smaller, so you can zoom into certain questions if you need to. So I'd recommend pausing the video, having a go at the questions. I'm going to reveal the answers in a second. Just before I reveal the answers, I want to say if there's a certain question that you definitely like another video, please comment and let me know, and I'll make sure that reappears. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to do another random bunch of questions. I'm hoping to make kind of a bit of a system to how I decide these questions, but at the minute it's completely random. Just wanted to give it a go, and hopefully it'll be useful for some people to revise. Right, I'm about to reveal the answers, so if you don't want to see them, pause the video now. So for the first question, you should have 0.04. Question 2 is 45%. Question 3 is the less than symbol, or if we're talking kind of in primary school terms, the crocodile should eat 2/5. Question 4, part A is C, part B is B, and part C is A. So the answer does spell out CBA. That was not intentional. Hopefully that's not going to backfire on me. And question 5, sharing in the ratio, you should have 16:20. So what I'm going to do now, if you didn't understand where any of those answers came from, I'm going to run through how you get those answers. Obviously, if you don't need that, fine. If there's a certain thing you want in the next video, comment, let me know. If there's a certain thing you want that you've seen in this video and you want in the next video, let me know. Or a certain one you found tricky, or that sort of thing. Anyway, on the first question, how do we turn 4% into a decimal? Well, percent means out of 100, doesn't it? So straight away, I'm thinking about turning that 4% into something out of 100. So it's 4 out of 100. And to turn that into a decimal then, well, I'm going to start with 4. And to divide by 100, I know you can divide by 10 and divide by 10 again. So if we start with 4, divide it by 10, we get 0.4. Divide it by 10 again is 0.04. So that means that 4% as a decimal, hence the answer, you should get 0.04. Okay? On question 2, to turn 9/20ths into a percentage. First of all, I mean, if I want percent means out of 100. So I'm going to try and turn 9 out of 20 into a fraction out of 100. I need to think how many times 20 goes into 100. You might be able to see that straight away. If not, list some 20 times tables. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. It fits in 5 times. That means I need to times the numerator by 5. So 9 times 5 makes 45. I can see that's 45 out of 100. Therefore, as a percentage, it's just 45%. On to question 3. So which symbol out of less than, equal to, or greater than should be in the box to make the statement true? So we need to decide which one is bigger. The problem is one is a decimal and one is a fraction. So you either want to turn them both into decimals. You could turn this one into a decimal. That's what I'm going to do. Or you could turn them both into fractions. You might know this is 3 out of 10. This one's a fraction, and double the numerator, double the denominator. Sorry, so that's 4 out of 10. And 4 out of 10 is bigger than 3 out of 10. Or you can turn them both into decimals like me. So I'm going to convert, as I've just said, 2/5 into a fraction out of 10. I need to think how many times does 5 fit into 10. So I've doubled it. I need to also double the numerator. Double 2 makes 4. And now I can easily turn that into a decimal, just like we did before on question 1. If I start with 4 and divide it by 10, I'm going to get 0.4. So therefore, as a decimal, it's 0.4. That means I'm comparing 0.3 with 0.4, and obviously 0.4 is bigger than 0.3. And you might have learned maybe in primary school that the crocodile eats the bigger number. If we're talking properly, this is a less than symbol, so we're saying that 0.3 is less than 0.4. Okay, on to question 4. It's a probability scale question. Very wordy, but not too tricky if you know what you're doing. I do think this one was a tiny bit nasty, because it's not super obvious, but let me run through it. So, firstly, I'll read the question. It says, a bag contains 18 counters. There are 9 red, 6 blue, and 3 are yellow. A counter is taken at random from the bag. Which letter on the scale below shows the probability of? And first, we want to think about getting a blue counter. Well, I can see there are 6 blue counters, and there are 18 in total. So I'm going to start by writing 6 out of 18. Now, on my probability scale, let's look at all of these notches, if you like. So this is the first one, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means this probability scale is showing probabilities out of 6. So that's 0 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, and 6 out of 6. So I need to try and turn this probability 6 out of 18 into a fraction out of 6 first of all. So to get from 18 to 6, I mean, I would think how many times 6 fits into 18? 6, 12, 18. It fits in 3 times. So going from 18 to 6, we're dividing by 3. That means to the numerator, I need to divide by 3 as well. 6 divided by 3 makes 2. So the probability of getting a blue counter is 2 out of 6. And on the notches then, that was 0 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 2 out of 6. So 2 out of 6 is at C. Same for the next problem. The probability of getting a yellow counter. So it says there are 3 yellow, so 3 out of 18. I'll write that as a fraction. And again, I want to turn that into a fraction out of 6. So I know that I'm dividing by 3 on the denominator. I need to divide by 3 on the numerator. 3 divided by 3 just makes 1. And 1 out of 6 on this scale is at B. So that's 0 out of 6, 1 out of 6, it's at B. Finally, for the last question, it says the probability of getting a black counter. Well, it says out of the 18 counters, we've only got red, blue, and yellow. There are no black counters, so therefore the probability is 0 out of 18, which is a fraction out of 6, is just 0 out of 6. So therefore, A is the probability of getting a black counter, 0 out of 6. There's one question left, question 5, dividing in a ratio, very common exam question. So if I want to share 36 in the ratio 4 to 5, the method I would recommend is using a bar model. So I've drawn 4 boxes on the top, 5 boxes underneath. If you don't want to use this method, bear with me, I'll explain another one at the end. So 4 boxes on the top, 5 underneath. Now, what we need to do is add up the boxes. So like I say, 4 on the top, 5 underneath, that's a total of 9 boxes. And we're trying to divide 36 in that ratio. So I'm going to do 36 divided by 9, which makes 4. That means each of the boxes is worth 4. Now I just need to work out what the top bit's worth and what the bottom bit's worth. So 4 times 4 on the top makes 16, and 4 times 5 on the bottom makes 20. Hence, the final answer is 16 to 20. We've shared 36. I mean, you can check they add up to 36. 20 add 16 makes 36. We've got 16 on the top, 20 on the bottom. So the final answer is 16 to 20. If you didn't want to use the bar model method, the method I was taught at school myself, you would add the 2 parts of the ratio together. It's basically the same. So 4 out of 5 makes 9. We've then got to do 36 divided by 9, which is 4. And then to work out each bit, I'm going to times by each part. So 4 times 4, that makes the 16. And 4 times 5, that makes the 20. Obviously, I've just said all that out loud. You would have to show all your working out in the exam to make sure that you get those 2 marks. So again, if you want any of these questions again to appear in my next video, just comment it, or if you've got any other certain things you want to focus on, again, let me know. But thank you so much for watching. I hope it was useful, and fingers crossed I'll see you again soon for another video. Thank you.